she don't remember when she was with me. I lost my kids through DCF. Let y'all know I used to snort patty, sold a lot of motherfucking drugs. Whooped a lot of ass, went to jail a lot. I was young and wild as fuck. I done apologized, and I'd be goddamn if I apologize any motherfucking more. But bitch, you said you married Mike because you need stability. Okay, so your son, your stepson, my little cousin, your little cousin, yeah, he didn't know whether to call you his godmama or his motherfucking his stepmama or his god sister. I say, is she your god sister or your stepmama or your cousin? He said she.
Shit, like you said, like y'all said, how I'm young and my mind ain't open all the way. Okay, well, a young nigga is even worse than a young female. Why the fuck would you think that I want to sit around and be with a young nigga that want to fuck other people and don't got his mind made up, don't know what he want, don't want to commit, don't want to get out his mama house, don't want to do that? Why the fuck would I want that? That's not what I want. I don't want that. I want to be with a nigga that know what the fuck he want in life. I want to be with a nigga that got stacked up his bread.
How we doing, guys? Myself, Chris Credit OBE, here with a quick one. Real talk, true season. We need to address this one right now, and I think there's a lot of abuse element that we don't talk about within our own community. And let's just get to the topic of the matter is, this guy's been grooming her from what day? The mother should apologize for mooning. Like, the mother's even, and this is what I don't like about our community. Like, if you've been not even like in the sense of, we're not saying bad mum. Let's just say this. If you've been a mother that didn't have the right tools and wasn't able to support your child enough, just raise your hand. Don't be wrong and strong. Don't be now coming at your daughter like, oh my God, who does she think she is? And what you gonna call her? You're gonna call her mum? You're gonna call her cousin? Like, what are you doing? You're acting like a child yourself, and that's showing me that you have trauma within your own life yourself. You've got to remember, you brought this man into your home. Into your home with your daughter, your local girl, your princess. She doesn't know right from wrong. So the worst thing about it is she doesn't even know. Like, I'm not even going to get onto her yet because she doesn't even know what's going on. She's still a child herself. So the fact that everyone's getting onto her and everyone's looking at her like, oh, well, she's talking like this and what is my girl talking about? She's a kid. She's looked at this guy like raw, like most people in their life. Let's just keep it real. Don't have fathers in their life. Don't have role models or male figures in their life. And 90% of the time, these are when these groomers come in. And we make it sound like grooming is such a nice thing. And no, this is people manipulating people and coming into a situation where he knew what he was doing. He saw her from morning. A couple of times she got out of the shower and all these kind of rest of it. And this is why we as parents, and this is why most women as well, as parents, needs to understand who you're bringing inside the yard. Yeah, I know you want to get the leg over. I know you want to flex and do your thing because you have a right to have a life. But at the same time, you have a responsibility, if you do not do that, to have repercussions of them actions. It's like even, let me put it in a scenario like this. It's like your child going to gymnastics and you taking your child to gymnastics. You're either going to leave them there or you're going to stay there with them. Now, if you don't stay there with them, you're putting your child more at risk in the sense of that person, in the sense of trainer, looking at them saying, rah, Mumsy's not about. Mumsy's not showing you no love. Dad's not showing you no love. I'll show you love. I'll show you needs. I'll show you that I care. I'll show you that I have an understanding where you're coming from. And 9 times out of 10, we've all been abused at some sort of stages of our life without even realizing that abuse was actually even flipping happening. So let's get onto the girl right now. Yes, she's barking off. Yes, she's talking about she needs a real man and all the rest of it. She doesn't even know what a real man is. She doesn't have no experience. She doesn't even have no understanding of what that is because he's only been the one in her life to show her that understanding, that structure. So if he has been there feeding the mum, all the rest of it, she's sitting there thinking, right, this is what a man's meant to do. But he was already grooming her. And it's like, even when we look at, don't get it twisted in the sense of women grooming young boys. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? We always hear that, you know, the sugar mama say, you know, that I can mold him into what I want it to be. This is exactly what he's done with this young girl. He has molded her into what he wanted her to be. And to be quite honest, I think the mum's quite jealous. The mum's quite jealous in probably the fact that he's picked her over them. And these kind of situations happen all the time. And you will always sit there and be like, how can you be jealous of your daughter and everything? This is the sick behavior sometimes if you go through the life of what we have gone through in the sense of don't speak out. Like, let's even just drop it back down to the days in the sense of, I'm going to keep it real in the sense of a fact for me. You know what's there? There was 9 times out of 10, I never told the truth to my mum. Reasons because I didn't want to stress her out, one. And the second reasons was 90% of the time, if I've done something wrong, I'm getting licks. So I better hold that. You know, one's there, go sleep and all the rest of it. So the more and more a child is doing that, the more and more that child doesn't have that relationship with that parent. If that parent is looking at them in the sense of they're quite strict, they're quite got an element in the sense of I don't want to believe you. What are you talking about? If you're dishing out these kind of understandings to your young people, they're never going to feel comfortable about talking to you about certain situations that they might think that, Ross, should this be actually happening? And these are the kind of times that it all needs to be addressed. This is not a case of, oh, we're just looking at it and saying, oh, right, sick. He's 46 years old. This is an R. Kelly thing. He's sick. He's been grooming us since he's 14. Man's on some nasty man thing, and man needs to get taken out early. But what I am saying is there's a lot of abuse and a lot of trauma that we go through that we don't talk about. I think it's a life that needs to be had. I think it's a conversation that needs to continue to be had, because a lot of us have been getting abused in these kind of households. It happens every single day. It happens when I was growing up in school. You know what I mean? 90% of the times when I was growing up in schools, girls was going out with older guys. Guys was pulling up in cars. Girls was 15, 16. Guys would pull up in cars. And I was trying to get with them, and they're looking at me like, oh, Chris, you're too young. And I'm like, I'm the same flipping age as you. So this has been happening. This has been happening with boys, teachers sexualizing boys and all the rest of it, getting with young boys, getting with teenagers and all the rest of it. And we sit there and don't talk about these taboo subjects. And 90% of the time, our young people go through these situations and don't know who to turn to until it gets too late. Then everyone's saying, oh, go to Child Protection Service, go to this person. You can find out on the website about domestic violence and all the rest of it. But why aren't we actually talking about what it actually looks like? What is the red flags? How do you identify these kind of things? And 90% of us are going to sit there. I know what you're not going to say. Well, how do we know? And this guy might have looked nice, and oh, everything was working well at first, and my daughter never came to me, my son never said anything. Oh, I thought everything was perfect. These are the kind of things when that is your own ignorance. That is your own ignorance speaking, because 90% of the times we can all see the signs. There's flags, red flags happening all around us. We know 90% of the time when you walk down the street, you're curious, you're cautious, because you know 90% of the time women mainly are getting attacked. So you're more vigilant. You keep your bag closed. You're doing certain rest of the things. So you've got to be a little bit more diligent with the mans that you're having around you. So you've got to understand their characteristics, who they are as people. And 90% of the time, we don't want to get to the intricacies, because if we start talking about our defaults, then we've got to start having some ownership. We've got to actually start saying, Raj, you know what? I've got trauma in my life, and that's the reasons why I keep getting these wrong guys, because I've been abused in my relationship, and I keep getting another guy, and he keeps abusing me, and he keeps abusing me. There's going to get to a stage where she's like, you know what? I don't want that for my child, or if not, I don't want that for me anymore. But there has to go through an experience. Same thing with guys. There's a 90% of guys right now that if it was flipped round on the other side, how much of us will be thinking that, oh, wow, my man's got a sugar mummy, rare. But it's still rape for me. If the guy's 18 and she is all 46 and everything, she's been grooming him since he was 14. But we don't see it like that as man them. You used to get your dad back in the day say, go on, son, give her one for me. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? So when we're even looking at boys and we're looking at rape, we just see it as in slut up. Man, girls are getting slapped down, boys are getting slapped down and all the rest of it. No, that's not rape. Rape is someone manipulating you and grooming you and making you believe that this is okay when it's not okay. And they know right from wrong and you don't. That is abuse. That is rape for me. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? And we don't look at it for boys as well. And boys are going through it much more than we actually really know, because we don't talk about it. It's a taboo. Oh, well, man can't say that man got raped by a girl. Oh, she didn't hold man down. She didn't slap my man up though. Cause come on, tell me the truth. But your man got a hard on though, innit? But what if he didn't flipping like it, bruv? What if he didn't even understand and know what was going on? There's certain people that I've gone through in the sense of when I was working in prison, there was a young man that said to me that my stepmom moved to me. And I didn't understand at the time. She used to play with my little things and rare. But he didn't know. He was sleeping with his stepmom, and he didn't know that she was actually grooming him. And he thought that this was the right way, or this was what things are meant to be happening. If you don't know right from wrong, how would you know? So when we're looking at these kind of things, please, guys, don't just jump to the occasion of, oh, my God, that's disgusting. Oh, my God, I can't believe these kind of things happen, because it's happening every single day right underneath our nose, and we don't address the problem. We don't speak to our young people. We don't connect with them and say, listen, this is what mummies went through back in the day, you know. Listen, this is what daddy's gone through back in the day. Daddy's had a child and it didn't work out with the baby mother, and there was trauma, and I got upset and I was angry and I was throwing things and she was getting aggressive with me and she slapped me. You need to start talking to your young people and making them understand about red flags and the things that are caused by abuse that subconsciously we actually think that is second nature. We actually think that that's the way we are. But there's certain things that we can even say as parenting. Everybody can sit there and say there's one thing that your mum or your dad has done, and you look back now and you're like, well, that was a little bit of abuse still. Whatever that reason was, whether they was chastising you, talking down to you, no one's there, neglected you with love, financially you wasn't being able to get supported by whatever it was, look back on your whole life and ask yourself, have you got a default where it's like, do you know what, that is a sense of a trauma, that is a sense of abuse, and have you dealt with it? Do we talk about these conversations behind closed doors? Are we going to allow this conversation to continue? Because we talk about domestic violence. Yes, we talk about abuse. Yes, we talk about child pornography. Yes, we talk about child paedophilia. Yes, we talk about all these subjects, but we don't talk about the nitty gritty on these are everyday things happening in life. How much time do we see things? We see young girls with bigger men. We see young boys with older girls, and we laugh and call it sugar daddy and sugar mummy like it's a joke. This is not no joke. These are sick people. This is on the border spectrum of narcissists, for me anyway, then special borderline in the sense of paedophilia, and for me, pedos. That's on borderline, because if you're sitting there thinking that it's okay and it's right to go out with someone younger than yourself or decades than yourself and thinking that it's okay, it's not okay. And this is the reasons why, for me personally, the age group must be able to change by now. I don't know in the sense of, yes, you are illegal when you're 18, but there must be some sort of clause in the laws that say, you know, one's there that once it gets past a certain age, I know we can keep saying age ain't nothing about a number and much more people are much more mature and all the rest of it. But there's a point when it gets nasty. There's a point where it's like, this is too much now. I could be your mum. I could be your dad. That's when it's borderline. I don't like that. So for me, it's not about just addressing this problem. It's about addressing abuse within itself. I want you guys to continue this conversation. I think it's a live that I'm also going to be having this week, sometime on the weekend and everything, and I want every guys to come in and talk about it, and I don't want everybody just to talk about it in one way and be like, oh, it's disgusting, it's this. I want us to address everything. So even if you're a type of person that's sitting there saying, I don't know if I can do that, Chris, I don't know if I can't have a relationship and just be there with my kids all the time, I want you to be honest with that. I want you to sit there and say to me, do you know what, I can do that, and this is what I need to do, and these are the kind of things that the more and more we talk about it, the more and more it doesn't become a taboo, and the more and more we understand what we are actually leaving, flipping, looking at. But guys, right now, this is disgusting, disgraceful. I can't even believe that I've just even witnessed this, because it's a shame that this young girl actually believes that she's in love, actually believes that this guy is the right one for her, and by the time she gets probably old enough into her 20s, 30s, she's going to realize that, what have I done? Why am I even with this guy? And the fact that, you know, she's going to have so much sort of pull to him where she can't really go now. Do you know what I mean? She's got that loyalty, she's got a child with him now. Do you know what I mean? She actually looking at her brothers and sisters as a mother figure, and she's not even a mother herself, in the sense of, you're still young, you're still actually understanding what life's about. So it's sad. It's something that we shouldn't just be angry about, something that we shouldn't be just chastising about. It's something that we should be actually looking at and saying, wow, this is actually really, really sad. And how much people do we know within our own community that this is happening to? How many girls that are going unlooked, that no one doesn't listen to? There's even times when I've heard in certain cases, scenarios where mothers have denied their child. Their child has come to them and said, Mum, this is what's going on. And she's like, how dare you? And it's like, wow, if your child's trying to come to you with any information, please don't just take it in haste. Please don't just look at them because you feel jealous or you feel hurt or you feel like you might not been the best supportive parent or the best mother at that time. And it's down to these fathers as well, because I'm looking at this whole situation. This is the last piece as well. Where's the dad? We're cussing the mum right now, the mum's moving bookie and my man's been grooming her, but where's the dad in this picture? And this is what I'm trying to say, when fathers are out of the house, when real men are not stepping up, when men like that, I don't know whether he knows what's going on, he doesn't know what's going on, but the lack of understanding, the lack of not knowing, and then that your daughter is actually getting married to a 46-year-old man, these are the kind of things where men were not being counted enough. And if we are being counted, we're not being counted in the right way, to a point where we're manipulating, grooming, abusing, hitting, chastising, to a point to gain all what? That you can groom someone that's 18, 19, that doesn't have a mentality, that doesn't have a backbone to tell you no. Don't have a backbone to tell you that's not right. Don't have a backbone to tell you, I'm not going to take this understanding. I'm not going to take this abuse. I'm not going to allow you to chastise me, because I am me. I have got a character. I'm beautiful. I'm sexy. I'm all of this in one. And men have to feel that as well. Don't get it twisted. You know, there's certain people like, yeah, no, it's real, Chris. Talk about the women. But there's a lot of men that's being abused. Don't ever get it twisted, and certain men are going unnoticed. So don't you men just sit there as well and think it's okay for a woman to put you down, call you ugly, you're broke, you're nothing. What do you think? You think you're not going to make anything? You think you're going to get any girl? Look at you, you're fat, rare, whatever she's saying to you, bruv, don't allow that, because we can sit there and say, oh, wow, like if a man goes and says that, bruv, you get me, like he's looking all soft and, oh, he's looking moist and all the rest of it, and girls want a strong alpha male and rare. Forget all of that. Yeah, don't talk to me like that. And even if I don't talk to you like that, and I'm not an alpha male to backchat you and be like, rah, don't talk to me like that. Who you talking to? That just goes to show you that you got a real genuine man right there. And men, if you got a woman that's going to be able to talk to you like that, you haven't got a genuine person around you. So once again, this is about abuse and trauma. Let's continue this conversation, guys. Let's make sure that we're talking about this topic much more than just highlighting it when it actually comes up. Myself, Chris Preddy, OBE. What's you guys' thoughts? Comment below.